Hello, my name is Philip Totaro. I'm the founder and CEO of market research firm IntelStor. Welcome to your weekly dose of truth to power. Truth to Power examines data driven insights for the energy sector with a focus on renewables. On this week's episode, we're looking at the installed capacity and market share for solar PV from the IntelStor Future of Renewables report. Over the past few months, we've been covering the global regions and the overall global picture for renewable energy technology, looking at things from a very macro level perspective. What we're going to do now and throughout the rest of this year is start looking at individual technologies and the contributions that they make to each global region that they're in, and how investors can get a leg up by parking money where they're going to see the best possible return, both technology wise and regionally. So we kick things off with solar PV. We're going to go in order of installed capacity for all renewable energy technologies. The global market for solar PV technology is now 2.1 terawatts as of the end of 2025, with global deployment in 214 different countries. Solar has now become the most ubiquitous and highly utilized renewable energy technology in the world. While we're only monitoring utility scale technology, the consumer market has also shown significant demand, particularly in markets where there are gaps in transmission infrastructure for rural populations or heavy incentives for consumers to adopt a rooftop system. China is close to achieving a major milestone of more than 1 terawatt installed, which they should achieve before the end of 2026. That's the highest installed capacity of a single renewable energy technology in a single country anywhere in the world. The United States maintains second place, but is quickly being chased by India, which just surpassed Germany in fourth place and is poised to overtake the USA by the end of 2026 with a surge in utility scale deployments spurred on by their domestic manufacturing capacity increases. Almost every country in the world is seeing their solar PV capacity installations surge as those costs are close to all time lows, despite some of the supply chain issues that have been seen recently. Certainly, with China's global dominance, the Asia Pacific region has swamped the rest of the world, but even without China, APAC would be very closely matched with Europe thanks to the strength in India, Japan, Australia, and South Korea alone. Germany, Spain, and Italy have helped Europe install more than a total of 389.7 gigawatts for a market share of 18.9% globally. The Americas is certainly anchored by the USA, but Brazil, Chile, Argentina, and the rest of the South and Central American countries have also seen substantial growth to get to 14.4% of the total global installations. What's noteworthy is the small but growing amount of capacity in Africa and the Middle East. With a relatively low capital cost to install solar PV coupled with ample and more than adequate irradiance, they should be able to scale the 42.2 gigawatts they've got installed quite quickly. Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, and South Africa have been leading the charge regionally. Back in the year 2000, though, the Asia Pacific region actually dominated the global market because of the investments that they made in solar cell and panel manufacturing by the Japanese in the 1990s. Asia Pacific started the century with just over 50% of the global installed capacity, but it dropped through the first decade of the 21st century as Germany ramped up their production capacity through 2010. Since 2010, though, China's made a significant leap forward in low cost cell and panel manufacturing, which has allowed them to drive the Asia Pacific region's installed capacity above 64.6% globally. While China removed federal subsidies for solar PV over 5 years ago, this policy shift to make solar power equivalent to the cost of coal actually meant that some project developers would see their average power purchase prices above what they used to be. While the Asia Pacific region continues to dominate, Europe and the Americas have held their own and should end 2030 with about 15% market share each. Africa and the Middle East remains the outlier with only 2% of the global installed capacity, but they have the highest growth potential to see an installation surge by 2050 that could rival anything seen today, including what's going on in the Asia Pacific region and China. The entire continent could be solar powered if there was additional investment in the transmission infrastructure and energy storage technology to facilitate that. Annual capacity additions for solar PV began the century at only 280 megawatts per year, and they've surged to more than 10 times that amount by 2023. Those global surges are being met with the potential for market oversaturation, particularly in places that don't have enough adequate transmission infrastructure to be able to accommodate the capacity installations. In the next 5 years, we anticipate between 140 and 256 gigawatts per year globally, for a total by 2030 of just under another 1 terawatt of capacity installed compared to 2025. A total of 581.8 gigawatts, or 61.6% of that new capacity, will be installed in the Asia Pacific region, 18.3% in Europe, 17.2% in the Americas, and 2.85% in the Africa and Middle Eastern region. Since 2000, when total installed capacity for solar PV was just 1 gigawatt, the industry ended 2025 having crossed more than 2 terawatts installed. This momentous achievement came after the world reached 1 terawatt installed only just 4 years ago, and the industry is poised to add another terawatt within the next 5 years, as I just mentioned. That growth is 189,000% in that time frame, or just over 7,546% average growth per year since the year 2000. That outpaces any other renewable energy technology by a substantial margin. From the end of 2025, another 31.2% growth in the next 5 years still puts the solar PV industry well above any of their other renewable energy industry peers, and it even surpasses any non-renewable energy power generation capacity additions. By 2030, the global solar PV market will reach more than 3 terawatts, with more than 1.9 terawatts, or about 63.7% of it, installed in the Asia Pacific region. Europe will grow to a total of 562.2 gigawatts, followed by the Americas at 460 gigawatts. The Africa and Middle East region will see some significant capacity growth, but will still only have just over 69 gigawatts installed by 2030, for a global total of just 2.3%. It has to be said that Africa and the Middle East represents the single largest growth opportunity for solar PV through 2050, as we expect this trend to accelerate into the future. Thank you for joining me this week. I'm Philip Totaro, and this has been your weekly dose of Truth to Power. We'll have more to come from this IntelStor exclusive report, The Future of Renewables, next time on Truth to Power, including a look at generation and efficiency for solar PV globally. In the meantime, you can follow us on IntelStor's YouTube channel, as well as your favorite audio platforms, and visit www.intelstor.com to join more than 250,000 subscribers to our renewable energy data solutions. We're adding subscribers faster than ever, so don't miss out. Register today. A full analysis of the global renewable energy market is available to online subscribers of this new exclusive IntelStor report, The Future of Renewables. And tickets are on sale now for the next Wind Summit event in Houston, Texas, on the 3rd and 4th of November 2026. Visit www.windsummit.org and join hundreds of your industry colleagues to discuss all the latest trends in O&M. We've got panelists and speakers lined up from companies like NextEra, EDPR, EDF, Pattern Energy, ExxonMobil, WEG, and more. So don't miss out. Register today. We hope to see you there.